Good morning, McGraw.
I mean, this is a classic Todd Aiken story, is it not? Everyone's sort of abandoning this guy, and this guy will not give up.
Yeah, I think it is. But I think the difference now is unlike what maybe Todd Aiken had at the time. There is a very clear movement that started during the Trump campaign and has continued and essentially being run by Steve Bannon, if you will, within the Republican Party, that this guy's almost become the flag bearer for. So he's more inclined to stay in and to fight this, and it's going to continue to make things worse for the Republican Party. Now, I'm a believer that at the end of the day, this Bannon-Trump movement does not have enough momentum, does not have enough support, does not have enough people in it to overtake the establishment. And I guess we won't know that until maybe 6-8 years from now, and we can come back and have that conversation. But I just personally don't believe that it exists. But it is vibrant right now. It is real, and it's why you're going to see, I think, Roy Moore stay in as long as possible.
You know what I have a hard time gauging, and I don't know if you have a better angle or not, but that is, what actual support does he have in Alabama? Because this is ultimately going to be their choice. I can't tell if the national media is cherry-picking some of the quotes or this is a true representation right? Because, I mean, they very well could not elect him after all of this.
They could, but I mean, the polling looks, first of all, it's a very Republican state. I mean, so let's, we know that. We know the history of the state. And I think what you see are a majority of those Republican voters that it's maybe even gone beyond the Roy Moore element, that they're pissed off hearing that their votes may be nullified or that their voting rights essentially are taken away if they elect someone that would then be expelled in the Senate. So there is a little bit of a backfire to what Cory Gardner from Colorado, the senatorial campaign chairman, said by saying, we will definitely expel him if he's there, because it's now, it almost, if you put yourself in the position of the Alabama voter, it would make you it would make you frustrated, pissed off, angry, and it would probably make you say, no, heck, I'm going to vote for this guy because I want to show, the U.S. Senate or the people in Washington, D.C. that they cannot take my voting rights away, and where I vote for someone and then they just come and completely nullify it. So that is understandable. Now, I'm not saying that to defend this guy. I'm not saying that this guy should get elected. I think that he should step down. But you can understand why the voters of Alabama would feel a little bit more emboldened because of what the discussion in Washington is right now.
I don't understand why the Republican Party in Alabama this is their Waterloo, right? I mean, this is their how dare you treat us this way? After now more allegations of him being banned from the mall in the 80s. It's sort of a well-known secret. You have more people coming out, right? I mean, they could certainly sort of put in a Luther Strange write-in campaign. I don't understand why this is their Waterloo.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. But again, I think that this is almost beyond just the specifics of Roy Moore. This is kind of the Bannonite group, which again I don't think is that ultimately that powerful, but it certainly is relevant and exists right now. But it's them basically saying, no, we need you to be the flag bearer. This is more representative of a bigger fight within the Republican Party we need to have against the establishment. And darn it, we are not going to stand down. Or if we lose, we're going to go down swinging big time. I mean, Breitbart has, I think, 5 reporters on the ground in Alabama that are trying to do everything they can to discredit these accusers and find dirt on them and stories like that. So it just shows you the effort that kind of faction and wing of the party is going to right now. But at the end of the day, McGraw, this is a huge distraction for the Republican Party. This is the last thing they needed.
Yeah.
It's not as if they didn't already have enough problems at this point.
If you're Donald Trump, what do you do? Do you cut him loose? You have your own long list of women who have accused you of doing inappropriate things. So you're President Trump. What do you do?
Well, that is I think that's the huge question, and it's going to be fascinating to see because he's certainly, people say, oh, well, he's been in Asia, so he hasn't been able to really. Let's cut him some slack. When he gets home, we can ask him about it. Just because he's in Asia doesn't mean that he can't tweet about it or we can't ask him about it. I mean, he's with a press pool the whole time. It is going to be fascinating to see when he decides to really come out on this issue because he will. But if I knew what he was going to say, which way he was going to go, I wouldn't be on the phone with you now. I'd be running the most successful tarot card reading enterprise in the country. But I would be very surprised, my prediction, I would be very surprised if he were to ask Roy Moore to step down, because this is a guy, Donald Trump, that right now does not care about a general electorate or even an electorate that he thinks will get him reelected in a primary fight. He's just focused on appealing to the people that love him, where he can do no wrong with.
Right, and those people are Roy Moore supporters, even now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Last question for you, Trey Harden. More importantly than Roy Moore, more importantly than your party getting ready to raise my taxes, that we can talk about next week. If you are the owners of the St. Louis Cardinals or the Washington Nationals, do you make a trade for Giancarlo Stanton?
Absolutely.
Really?
Although
wow.
Certainly it'll take a lot, but absolutely. I mean, that guy is to do what he does in the non-steroid era. I think is pretty impressive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I would not. So because
I think it depends on what you got to give up. But
right.
I mean,
right.
It sounds like there needs to be a shakeup or a change with both organizations.
All right, Trey Harden, always here on Tuesday. Trey, have a good